Hello, guys. Welcome back to Reinvented. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, today we're going to talk about sports and mental health. Specifically, and the one I want to talk about was my experience with like my mental health and specifically soccer, and kind of how it impacted my performances or anything like that. Um, just also kind of from the start too. I remember when I first started playing recreational soccer. It was kind of hard because the thing for me was I was when I started I was I think I think I had just turned 20. Um like when I actually started my first game. Um and now in the league I played in, it was like there wasn't many like female players. So you had to have at least two females on the field. But if you didn't have two females, like if you had two or less females, the other team for one had to match that. And also, not to mention, if you had like one or two females and you didn't have any subs for females, we were running around the whole game. The whole game, that would. So, yeah, that was. Other than that, but I think for me, it taught me that is gonna, for one, put me into shape really, really fast. Um, and it also, I think, it took me a little bit longer to kind of to realize that sometimes when you play recreational soccer, some people take it way too fucking seriously. Um, and I remember like my first season I played um in like this recreational league. The first games I played, I don't know, I enjoyed it, but it took me a while to find my footing of how to you know, how the players played. And it wasn't even until like the last game of the season that I finally I finally scored a goal. And I'm okay. I remember the first goal I was proud of. And to be honest, looking back, it was just some lucky ass shot too. Um, and I felt pretty good. Like, I feel like I kept growing. It's still something that like stepping on the field, I get really anxious. Um, yeah. I'm trying to like think of how to phrase this here. But I remember I don't think like when I first started playing, I wasn't in the best spot mentally. Where I think my games were like I was growing, but I was inconsistent. Um, with like how I was playing, and it took me um to switching it kind of like switching leagues per se. Um, it took me like switching leagues and all that to kind of realize that I I was kind of time to be consistent. And for a while I was still inconsistent. I think also like switching leagues made me realize how serious some people took this and like thought they were the shit. And it took me a while to realize like in recreational soccer that's what people do and not everyone is going to like you. Like I legitimately had one guy one time tell me I wasn't good enough. For one, like because of like my like career. Um, but also this guy was kind of cocky. Like he goes, I don't want to be like he literally put in the group chat, I don't want to be on a losing team. And it was like we were actually doing pretty good as a team. He just didn't like that we lost one game. And like even looking back now, even like playing against some ex professionals too, they were never that bad. They weren't even that bad. I'm just like, what the fuck? Um, but at that time, I like went through what am I call like my first like transformation period of my life of like realizing that some of these things that people say and do are not okay, and it's okay to break away from that mold. So obviously, I don't think he liked me because obviously at the time I was, I started to realize that people like talking like this, saying, "Oh, you suck, you'll never be good enough," and especially coming from someone who is like 10 to 20 years older than you, like, and getting up in your face like that, like, okay, that was ridiculous. And mind you, that was my own teammate doing that. Um, so, yeah, that's not even the funniest one I got to, but it was something that at that time in my life, like having to, I guess, kind of come to terms with, some people aren't gonna just always be the nicest, and some people just want to be bullies. And the thing I've like taken away a lot from just life in general and sports is it's okay to be a good person, but doesn't mean you have to be a nice one. Um, and you have every right to make your boundaries known, and you have every right to call someone out for not respecting your boundaries. Whether they like it or not, that's um, what I've been told is tough shit. It is what it is, but they don't, if they don't want to respect that, that's on them. If they lose you, they can decide what they want to do at the end of the day. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. And yeah, I will see you next week with a brand new episode. Peace.